Hey, welcome back. Today, we're doing something a little different. We're going to take a peek behind the curtain and spend a day with Nicholas Alexander Benson to see how his whole creative process works. We're talking dreams, history, community feedback, it all comes together. So let's see where the day starts.
So let's just start with the biggest question of all, right? The one that every single creator asks themselves. Where does this stuff even come from? Is it just some random bolt of lightning? Is it all planned out? Or is it something else? Something that happens when we're not even awake?
Well, for Nicholas, the answer, a lot of the time, literally comes from his subconscious. His creative day on September 3rd didn't start with an alarm clock. It started with an idea that was born while he was lucid dreaming.
And it all kicks off at a very specific moment. We're talking 4:30 in the morning. He wakes up and immediately logs this super detailed entry about a lucid dream he just had, a story he decided to call the Pixie Dust Heist.
Okay, so check this out. What you're looking at is the reference art he made pretty much the second he woke up. The dream itself, it was set in a pixie dust bath shop, which is exactly what it sounds like, a store with pools of magical dust. And who busts into this shop? A whole gang of humanoid werecat thieves dressed like classic cat burglars.
But here's where the dream gets really interesting. There wasn't some big, epic fight. No. Instead, one of the pixie shop workers just calmly walks up and uses a special burning pixie dust on them. And it doesn't hurt them. It transforms them. It literally burns away the evil and turns them back into what they originally were, good elves.
And that's really the heart of it. He actually hopped on his Dreamcast podcast with his AI creative partner Gemini Nova to break it down. And Gemini framed it perfectly as a story of purification and redemption. The whole idea wasn't about destroying evil, it was about cleansing it. Pretty cool, huh?
So, from that one single dream, this absolute explosion of creativity happens. And this is all before most of us have even thought about making coffee.
Get this. In just a couple of hours, that one dream idea gets spun out into 6 completely different things. First, you've got the reference art we just saw. Then came a comic, an animated dream anime, a whole wiki page to keep track of the new lore, the Dreamcast podcast we just mentioned, and he even wrote a dream tune with full lyrics. I mean, that's an entire media franchise from one dream, all before 8 a.m. Wow.
But Nicholas's inspiration isn't just coming from his dreams. As the day moves on, he gets a spark from a totally different place, this time from the real world. And it's from a pretty dark chapter of history.
So he stumbles across this news report about these secret experiments from the Cold War. And one of the claims in the report was that, as part of a study, kids in some school science clubs were apparently fed radioactive oatmeal. Just wild stuff.
And that unsettling bit of history, it immediately gave him a new idea. He channeled it straight into his next project, a brand new comic he called The Radioactive Oatmeal Experiments.
The plot takes that historical idea and just runs with it, creating this classic comic book origin story. You've got 3 students, a nerd, a jock, and a cheerleader named Peggy, who all get superpowers from the oatmeal. So, of course, the 2 guys start fighting over Peggy. But here's the twist. She shuts the whole thing down by revealing her own awesome powers, telling them she is not some prize to be won. And all the while, you've got this shady scientist watching from the shadows, realizing that Peggy is the one with the real power.
You know, for any creator, making the thing is only half the story. The other half, and it's just as important, is putting it out there and actually talking with your community about it. So he publishes the comic on StoryNext, which is this online spot for creators. And almost right away, the feedback starts rolling in. People are jumping in, talking about the story, the art, the whole vibe. And this is just a perfect example of that creative feedback loop in real time. A user named Leftover commented on the 1950s look, saying, "I feel like retro is coming back in style." And in his own log, Nicholas saw that and was like, you know what? Good idea. He decided right then to lean more into retro styles for future projects. So the audience is literally helping to shape the art as it's being made. And then there was this awesome full circle moment. There's another creator on the platform called Slop Fiction. And Nicholas has said that Slop Fiction's work actually inspired one of his own earlier comics. Well, Slop Fiction saw the new comic and left a comment saying, "Whoa, hell yeah, bro." Nicholas was totally thrilled, writing about how much it meant to him to see someone who inspired him enjoying his work.
So, after a day that was just completely packed with dreams, history lessons, creating at lightning speed, and talking with the community, what did Nicholas himself think were the biggest moments? Let's take a look at his own summary of the day. He actually puts it all together in his daily highlight comic. For September 3rd, the big moments were, of course, the Werecat dream and getting the radioactive oatmeal experiments out into the world. But he also somehow managed to publish a second brand new comic that day, all while also making time for a charity walk for Feeding America. And that second comic is called We Want to Be Me. The art here is from that one. It's a much more abstract, symbolic kind of comic. He said it explores this idea of how people sometimes value their own individuality more than they value the truth. Just another really deep idea that he managed to visualize and publish in the same 24 hours. It's just an amazing look at how much creative energy can be crammed into one single day. And it really makes you think, doesn't it? If your own day was a comic book, what would be the main highlight panel? What's that one moment you'd want to freeze and capture?